Ladies and gentlemen, how many ways can you define victory? How many ways can you say President Trump won again? He won the election. He won, he defeated Democrats not only with Clinton, $1.2 billion versus $600 million. I stated in 2015 that she would lose the election. The Hill, the Huffington Post, and Salon. I was right. Nobody thought that she would lose. Nobody on the left, I should say. I was pretty much the only voice on the left saying that if it's Clinton, she loses the election. She lost. Then the Mueller probe happened, and I was one of the few voices on the left. At that point, I was still on the left, stating that it all leads back to Madam Cyberhack. People were very reluctant to say, oh my goodness, it led back to Clinton. We don't want to say that, but, it's just, even the people on the left, a lot of them, who didn't want to say that this was Eric H526, thank you. And to my super chat, thank you so very much. You give me every incentive to rock these live streams. Eric H526, thank you. Hello, everyone. Luke St. Martin, hello. Ramla Farah, hello. Hello, everyone. I was one of the few people to say that not only was it complete and utter nonsense, the whole thing was started by a dossier that was purchased by Hillary Clinton and a CrowdStrike assessment that was outsourced by Democrats. The thing was complete and utter nonsense. We find after 2 years that I was right, that you were right, because you were saying the same thing. We were all saying the same thing. Anyone with a functioning brain cell. Ubin David, hello. Jennifer Raymer, hello. We were all saying the same thing. Why would Trump work with Russia to buy Facebook ads that nobody saw? Nobody saw the Facebook ads. Nobody. The vice president of Facebook stated the ads were seen after the election. And that the goal was not to elect Trump. It was to sow discord in our unified country. Jennifer Raymer, thank you. They spent 2 years. They leaked information. Nachos Livestream, hello. And ladies and gentlemen, it is important to remember that they had nothing to begin with. They never had anything. Lawrence F. Hello, Lawrence. Schiff is out of control. He really needs to be held responsible for misleading the public and contributing. I agree with you, Lawrence. What they need to do, the Republicans need to vote on a resolution. Rachel, hello. Thank you, Rachel Byers. Thank you. Lawrence, they need to vote on a resolution. Now, Congressman Gates had a resolution. I think it was called the Pencil Act, something like that. and that was meant to force Congressman Schiff to resign. But they had nothing, and here is the basic logic. William Barr, eventually, not only did they not find collusion, and I explained it in my Federalist article, Eric H526, if you have it, if you want to share it, I explained in my Federalist article, share it everywhere. The illegal statute that Comey, Strzok, and McCabe will eventually be charged under, which is what they wanted to charge Trump. Comey, Strzok, and McCabe knew what they were doing. And they utilized the dossier they knew was complete nonsense, simply to defraud the American public. But William Barr, now this is for Democrats who are perhaps watching this channel. Probably nobody, there aren't Democrats watching this, but if you believe in the Trump-Russia collusion myth, or then and now, even, look, everyone now, nobody credible is even believing this nonsense. Now they've gone to obstruction of justice. You cannot obstruct justice if there's no crime to obstruct. They have never accused Trump of a specific crime. But this is very important, ladies and gentlemen. Let everybody you know, if you have to debate them, this very simple fact. The Mueller team did not have to give William Barr the opportunity to decide on obstruction. They did not have to give William Barr that decision to make. The Mueller team could have simply stated, here is the evidence we are going to push for an indictment on obstruction of justice. Captain Pat, hello. Thank you. Veronica! I'm marking today in my calendar that it's no collusion day, and H.A. Goodman was right for the past 3 years. Veronica! Thank you, Veronica. Lawrence F., thank you. Veronica, thank you very much. That is kind of you, and it's no collusion day. It's a great day for everyone. But this is very simple logic. Even a Democrat could comprehend. They are talking about obstruction. That most of the obstruction, by the way, is hearsay and gossip. Oh, Comey said that Trump wanted a loyalty, his loyalty. Comey said this. Other people said that. He was going to fire end the Mueller probe, which should have happened, by the way, but whatever. That still wouldn't have been obstruction because they would have had to prove that they had evidence of an actual crime, which they didn't. But they chose not to indict President Trump. It was the Mueller team. It was not William Barr. Tammy Brennan, thank you. It was not William Barr. Stop saying it was William Barr. We need to stop saying that William Barr, this is the narrative that media is trying to perpetuate. Stop saying that William Barr decided. He didn't decide. It was Mueller's decision. His team had the decision. They could have simply said, hey, you know what? We have this. We were about to find out if Trump actually purchased Facebook ads and helped people infiltrate the DNC while fluids were being rained down upon him in a Moscow hotel room. But because of this, it didn't happen. Because of this behavior or this act, because of what Trump did here and there, it didn't happen. He stopped us from finding out his criminal behavior. They didn't say that. It's so simple to understand. This is now a political, a completely partisan political public relations spin. It is important to understand the reality of the situation. Exactly. Lies Gene Williams, it is a nothing burger. It is important to understand the reality of the situation, and the reality, Ghostface. They're going to try to impeach Trump, I think, which will, yet again, Steph O.M., hello. I think they're going to try to impeach Trump, and that'll not work out for them also. But this was a decision that the Mueller team made. This was not a decision made by William Barr. So when they say William Barr, he should have worn a Trump 2020 hat. William Barr, how dare you? We don't have an attorney general anymore, like Sessions. They are deliberately deceiving the way they do all the time. Buddy Romero, hello. This has nothing to do, absolutely, positively nothing, absolutely nothing to do with William Barr. This was entirely the decision of the Mueller team. The Mueller team had nothing. So because they had nothing in terms of obstruction, they said, gosh, we just can't prove that. They did the Comey. What they tried to do is they tried to make it morally relative, just like with Clinton. Like, well, Clinton, there was no intent there. We couldn't prove beyond a shadow of a doubt. You didn't have to prove beyond a shadow of a doubt with Clinton because there was actual evidence of a specific crime. Just like Comey, Strzok, and McCabe engaged in specific crimes and they conspired. And I explained that in my Federalist article. But then here they have Time magazine has one way he obstructed justice was Trump asked FBI James Comey for loyalty. We have zero, absolutely, positively zero evidence of that. Again, this is gossip and hearsay. Comey is not trustworthy, nor is he credible. He's a completely partisan actor who committed crimes of his own by leaking classified information. That is a fact to start the Mueller probe. Chuck Grassley stated that is a fact. And we have no reason to believe that anything that Comey said regarding his conversations with Trump. So that is complete gossip and hearsay. Trump asked FBI Director James Comey for loyalty. That's gossip. Trump asked Comey to drop an investigation into Michael Flynn. More gossip. And people take this as fact. Comey wrote in the memo that Trump told him he's a good guy. I hope you can let this go. First of all, that's not even obstruction. Second of all, President Trump should pardon Michael Flynn. I explained that in one of my Federalist articles. Third, that's more gossip from Comey. We have zero evidence that anything Comey stated in his memos, absolutely zero evidence anything is accurate. We have no transcript. There was no tape recording, no nothing. We're literally relying on someone's memos that they wrote. This is it's like the Comey dossier. It's the same thing. The Mueller team never asked, did you say this, President Trump? Comey testified under oath that he took the president's statement. He testified under oath. First of all, he lied numerous times under oath. Secondly, there's no evidence to corroborate his statement. They never asked Trump, did you say this? Because the conversations are classified. So that's yet another. Trump let Comey go. Oh my goodness. So what? He fired Comey. So what? That was his, according to Alan Dershowitz and other legal scholars, that was his decision to make. Ghostface, everyone please vote Trump 2020. Heinrich G. Hello. I read the first 40 pages. Thank you. Heinrich G. Thank you. I read the first 40 pages, and by God, this is a Weasley written report making statements I know is non-factual. Mueller did what I suspected. Exactly. Heinrich, what Mueller did, this was a political document meant to cast doubt. That's it. Meant only to cast doubt. That's all it was. It was a political statement meant only to cast doubt. And his team had there was no decision to make. There was no decision to make. Because there was nothing that he obstructed, because there was no crime that he committed, Trump. So what they did is illegally start an investigation based on a phony, fake dossier. And then they said, oh my God, you stopped our ability. You might have prevented our ability to torment you. How dare you do that? How dare you do that? I hope Mueller testifies. If Mueller testifies, it's not going to work out for them. Ronald Foos, good night. Ronald Foos, hello. So Then they're like, oh my God, he let Comey go. Comey was insubordinate numerous times, according to the IG report. This is actually an important segment, ladies and gentlemen. Comey was insubordinate numerous times. He should have been fired by President Obama. Then Trump misrepresented why he fired Comey. No. What he, in the letter firing Comey, Trump claimed that he was doing so on advice of Sessions and Rosenstein. But in fact, he already decided to do so. It's like the day of the firing, what Mueller wrote, the day of the firing, the White House maintained that Comey's termination resulted from independent recommendations from Attorney General and Deputy Attorney General that Comey discharged. But the president decided to fire Comey before the hearing from the Department of Justice. That makes no sense. It really doesn't matter because it's his prerogative as the president under the Constitution. But they're splitting hairs here. They're like, they have not. It's not even. It didn't obstruct anything. And Andrew McCabe stated under oath. Well, he lied under oath also, but he stated that nothing. The investigations were not hampered. James Comey being there or not being there didn't deter anyone from investigating Trump because they had Sessions. Trump asked intelligence officials to clear him. Okay. This is hilarious. Trump asked Director of National Intelligence Dan Coats, CIA Director Mike Pompeo, and NSA Director Mike Rogers and Comey to state publicly that no link existed between him and Russia. That's not asking anyone to clear him. That's stating a fact, a reality. Why it matters? Presidents do not typically order officials to clear them of wrongdoing. That's not clearing him of wrongdoing. The reality was that no evidence existed. So what's wrong with that? No evidence existed. In the weeks following Comey, March 30th, asked intelligence to push back publicly on any suggestion that the president had a connection with Russian election interference. First of all, the Russians never interfered in the election. Their Facebook ads did not interfere. Nobody looked at the Facebook ads. Not one person, not one human being in the entire country looked at Buff Bernie coloring books and said, I'm voting for Bernie. It never happened. It never, ever happened. Not one person. Oh, but the intelligence community, so what? They're lying. Not one person. Give me the number of people. If you can't give me the number of people, then don't make the claim. The reality was there was no evidence that existed because they fabricated everything. Trump tried to limit the Russia investigation. And here we get this, like, he didn't, whatever. Trump asked Sessions to unrecuse himself. Good, he should have. And of course, Sessions said, I don't think so. Trump tried to fire Sessions. Good, he should have. And that has nothing. Trump dictated a misleading statement on the Trump Tower meeting. Who cares? The Trump Tower meeting was a setup also. Trump tried to fire Mueller. He should have. That would have been great. Then he could have said, all right, now that I've fired Mueller, we're going to declassify everything. Absolutely everything. Magic! I think Trump just lost that love and feeling. Exactly. Stating innocent is not obstruction. Trump threatened his former lawyer, Michael Cohen. No, he didn't. Michael Cohen, president, insinuated in an interview that tweeted his Cohen's father-in-law might be at risk of legal problems. Yes, nobody knew that. So you have nothing. Absolutely positively have absolutely positively nothing. They have absolutely nothing. And they never had anything. They never had anything. It's really unbelievable how they never had anything. And now they're trying to get Trump on obstruction of justice, which is Absurd. They've admitted that 2 years of Russian collusion nonsense never happened. They promised that there was a link, and they're still talking about a possible link. It never, ever happened. Never, ever happened. Never. Absolutely never happened. And now they're saying our unlawful investigation. Our unlawful investigation. Well, you tried to obstruct. Ghostface, everyone please vote Trump. Yes. This is hilarious too because they don't ever give up. Like, they don't ever give up. And the media treats Democrats as if they're like they have a point. Like, well, Democrats are really upset. Like, they're going to be upset over anything. They fabricated everything. It didn't work out for them because it was never going to work out for them. This was never an investigation that had any possibility of working out. Their thing is not, they don't care about truth. They care about how many people they can deceive. If they deceive enough people, it's worked. Look, you're talking about a political party that cheated Bernie Sanders and then got Bernie Sanders to perpetuate the same myth that said he was a part of a Russian pot. Papa D! Yeah, let's go get him. Douglas McDonald! Will legal proceedings and facts change course of MSM narrative? Douglas, the MSM narrative is unfortunately going to follow the Democratic Party narrative. Unfortunately. They always want a cloud to hang over President Trump. They always want some kind of cloud. They always want some kind of cloud that says, well, you know, President Trump could have. Well, we know he might have obstructed justice. Buddy Romero, I think this is going to help Trump in 2020. They have nothing now. Democrats have absolutely nothing. They don't stand for anything. Papa D. They don't stand for anything. So it's like, what do they have? They're not going to implement their grandiose policy objectives. They're not going to implement Medicare for all. They're not going to do any of these things. None of these things. So Douglas McDonald, this is unfortunately going to, the media coverage is going to center around, well, did he collude or no? Did he obstruct? Did he obstruct justice? Oh my God. Could he have obstructed justice? Oh my God. Maybe he obstructed justice, you know? Maybe there's nothing that they can actually point to say that had he not done this, they would have found X, Y, or Z. There is no obstruction of justice. There is no obstruction of justice. Tammy Lawler. Dems have cried Douglas about POTUS, but brag about their Douglas from Mueller to do their own investigation. Hilarious. Exactly. Well put. Great point. Great point. That's a great point. They don't realize exactly. That's a great point. They don't realize that, see, they're guilty of everything they accuse Trump of doing. It was Hillary Clinton who used the 3 a.m. ad. It was Hillary Clinton who engaged in all the, all the terrible racism that they're accusing Trump of. It's Democrats that actually tell people, yeah, you know what, you need to do this in people's faces. Rachel Byers, thank you. And what William Barr did, he was basically like, there was no nothing, there was no obstruction, there was no collusion, and pretty much Anything you say is, I'm rubber and you're glue, and anything that you say bounces back from me and sticks to you. Tammy, thank you. Liza Jean Williams, why did Trump deny, at least last summer, after praising it 48 times when he was running? HA, that was the hill Liza Jean Williams, Trump is a politician. So he's not going to be, he's gonna, if it works out for him, he's gonna say, yeah, I love Assange. And then once it happened last week, he's like, oh, well, you know what? I don't really know anything about it. I think at the end of the day, there's only one political party that benefits. There's only one politician who benefits. That's Clinton and Democrats from what's taking place with Assange. So, but I appreciate that. I mean, he's a politician. So that's and the interesting thing. They're like, well, you know what? They didn't go after Trump's emails. It's like, well, he didn't cheat anyone. That's it. He didn't cheat anyone. It's game over. It is game, set, match. It is game over for Democrats. They have nothing now. They have absolutely nothing. I mean, they have absolutely nothing, and it's kind of hilarious. But let's go ahead and, I mean, you know that tables have turned when Democrats are complaining. They're complaining. They're like, oh my goodness, it's rigged. Everything's rigged. It's like, no, only President Trump could have withstood all of this. Really. It's really unbelievable what he was able to do. They set him up. They framed him. And now William Barr is going to investigate Comey, Strzok, and McCabe for the crimes they committed. The crimes that I talk about in my Federalist article. They actually committed crimes. They actually did commit crimes. So Trump quotes Tucker Carlson. The Mueller report is perhaps the single most humiliating thing that has ever happened to the White House press in the history of this country. They know they lied. Many reporters lied about Russia collusion and so much more. Clapper, Brennan, all lies. Tucker Carlson. Yep. And what they've tried to do also, ladies and gentlemen, they're so corrupt with Clinton. Like, she's running again. She'll eventually run. They're not going. This is all like the pre Clinton 2020. She's running again. Okay. And it's going to vindicate every single thing that I talk about, that I've stated for 3-4 years now. But they are so corrupt that they need to fabricate corruption. The evidence of their real crimes, the actual criminal activity, actual cover-ups is so grandiose. They're like, what can we do to even the score? What can we do? What can we do to simply muddy the waters and make everything relative? They live in a morally relative world. Everything has to be morally relative. If it's not morally relative, they lose. They even lose. Look, they had the media. They had a 2-to-1 advantage in terms of fundraising, and they still lost. They're going to lose again in 2020. They have nobody, and Clinton's going to run. She's going to easily win. Why? Because she owns the whole thing. Heinrich G. Example, Mueller states as a fact, we just got that material from exactly relying on the IC assessment, even though it is not within his scope and it's false. And also, Heinrich G. And also, great point, and also CrowdStrike is company one. All of those indictments list a company one. Company one is CrowdStrike, not the United States government. Bombastic Bushkin! Thank you. Heinrich, thank you. Bombastic Bushkin seems Bill Barr is going to act for equal justice. Exactly. We had H.E. Elmer Fudd doing nothing. Rest of the year should be humdingers, Dems meltdown. Oh, yeah. It's going to be great. Oh, absolutely. 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 It's going to be fantastic. But at the end of the day, like I keep saying, there are no further indictments. You can indict a sitting president. Don't believe the nonsense. Well, you can't indict a sitting president. Yes, you can. If Trump rolls up to a bank with a ski mask and tries to rob it on national television, he can get indicted. Don't believe the nonsense. They had nothing. That's why they pretended. Garden Gnome, thank you. Rose Quartz, hello. Kristen J, hello. They pretended that it was not their call and they had to rely on William Barr. That's not true. Papa D. I prefer to spell without using the English digraph. Papa D. So they had nothing. I mean, the Mueller team, they're the ones who decided. They're the ones who decided about the no collusion. They're the ones. It was their decision. It was not William Barr's decision. Them pretending to give it to William Barr is absurd. If there was enough evidence, they would have said, look, we want to indict Trump on this. There are no further indictments. Therefore, they chose not to indict anyone on obstruction. And their obstruction case is based on Comey. Comey is a criminal. So, not only is Comey not your homie, he committed criminal acts. So there you go. There you go. But it's really interesting. I mean, they haven't given up. They completely doubled down. So here's the way it works. Valerie, there is no such thing. In the United States government, there's no such thing as white hats or blue hats or red hats. Nobody wears a hat. There are no people wearing hats. What happened was Mueller tried to take down Trump, and he failed, just like Comey tried to cover up Clinton's emails. And that was such a monumental failure because the criminality was so overreaching that they said, oh my God, a week before the election, we found emails on Uma Abedin's laptop. Oh my God. Oh my God. And then the Democrats looked at that and said, but that wasn't an example of objectivity. That was an example of such an overt, such a huge, huge example of criminality that it was so overreaching or so broad that they couldn't hide anymore. Douglas McDonald, Douglas! Has Trump handed us new ways to organize with rule for all Americanism vis-a-vis revised saw? See, in a new way. In fun. He has in a way. The best way is just to ignore any ridiculous accusation from people who have completely lost it. So, the thing is, people on the left rely on their belief that they're morally superior. Once you call their bluff and you say you're not morally superior, who cares what you think? Then they, get into even a bigger temper tantrum, but their ability to cast judgment is completely taken from them. when you just look at somebody and they're accusing you of something and you know you didn't do anything wrong, and they're the ones who were kind of like, um, LL Cali J, thank you. Um, if they're pretending to be morally superior, but they're not, which is basically Democrats. Democrats elected a woman who called black youth super predators in Clinton. So they claim moral superiority. President Obama presided over the destruction of Libya. It was because of his failed intervention. So those two things alone, worse than anything Trump has ever said or done. So they claim moral superiority when in reality they're not. So all their judgments and all their major accusations really don't have they don't have a leg to stand on in terms of their accusations, their claims. I can get I can get into it, but there's YouTube policies and but yeah, I mean, I have closed caption on my segments now, just not on it takes like a day or two. I'm not bald, I have a high forehead. No, I'm actually just shave it. All right. Samuel Stafford. Thank you so much, Samuel Stafford. Thank you. Thank you. My goodness, Samuel. Thank you. Cheers, HA. Well done. Samuel Stafford. Thank you. And it's been a long road, and there's more to come. There's more winning ahead. I greatly, greatly appreciate that, Samuel. Thank you, as always, for your support and for watching. And we won. We won yet again. We won yet again. Thank you, Samuel. Very, very much. Thank you. We won yet again. And really, I mean, only President Trump could have overcome all of this. I mean, do you know a person? Thank you again, Samuel Stafford. Thank you. We did it. We won. There's more winning ahead. But how many people, like, if it was Bernie, could you imagine? Are you accusing me of working with the Russians via Facebook ads? But I didn't do it. But if you accuse me, I'll just say I did. I don't know what to do anymore. You let me know what I should say. What do you think I should say? I don't want to rock the boat. Here, let me make a tweet. Thank you, Deborah Wasserman, for cheating me, and I'm very sorry that I had the audacity to possibly run. What do you want me to write? Here, you write it. That's what Bernie would have done. Like, who else could have fought back? Samuel Stafford, thank you again. Who else could have fought back? Who else could have had the chutzpah, the fortitude to just continue? Juvenile Johnny, love your work. Been watching since 2016. Thank you, Juvenile Johnny. Thank you. Thank you, Johnny. Since 2016, I appreciate that very much. We're going to have another Bud Drake, hello. We're going to have another 2020. Can you imagine how awesome this is going to be, 2020? I am Siler, hello. On 2020, during the 2020 election, this is going to be a channel that everyone, and we're going to grow. We could approach over 200,000. I'm hoping we will. A lot more. It could be a lot more, but they're not. Let's put it this way. Clinton is eventually going to get indicted. because we're still talking about Clinton. Not only are we talking about, we're still investigating the Clinton email probe. The Senate is still investigating the Clinton email probe. The Senate is still investigating. We're just starting. Judicial Watch, President Trump retweeted Judicial Watch retweeted Judicial Watch Judicial Watch revelations regarding Clinton's intent to utilize the servers. And that was just today. So as he's like, game over, game, like Trump is the guy that's in the end zone. He's celebrating. And he's like, oh, by the way, we're going to run up the score. Because we have all the cards now. Clinton is eventually going to get indicted because she committed actual crime. She's a criminal. Democrats don't realize that. They're stuck in their Twitter world where they spend 3 to 4 hours a day on nonsense. I'm reading certain messages. Sorry. Clinton transferred top secret and special access program intelligence. And she did so deliberately. That's the issue. She did so deliberately. So when Judicial Watch uncovers emails from Platte River, the company that she outsourced all her emails to, they also had her deleted emails. I explained in But Her Top Secret and But Her Deleted Emails. So I explained But Her Top Secret Emails, my book on Amazon, But Her Deleted Emails, my book's on Amazon. That they already had her emails. So when people say, oh my God, Trump Jr. tried to get Clinton's emails. Oh my God, from the Russians. They're trying to mask Clinton's criminality in a cloak of this notion that, well, Trump tried to conspire with Russia to get her emails. He didn't have to. Her deleted emails on the pay-to-play schemes with Clinton Foundation, those, Platte River and Dado had those, /have those. I explained that in my books. She gave them all 60,000 emails. From 2013 to 2014, she did not delete the 30,000 emails until 2014, late 2014. She outsourced the 60 plus thousand emails she had in 2013. For 1 year, from 2013 to 2014, Platte River and Dado Inc. had all 60 plus thousand of her emails. 2014, she struck a deal with the State Department. Gee, that was convenient. To delete 30,000 of them. Then 2015, they found out that her emails contained classified and special access program intelligence information. That's the issue. That's the issue. The issue is, and exactly, Bombasky Bush, and I spoke about this in 2015 also, the NSA has them, obviously. Samuel Stafford, thank you again. Exactly, but what a coincidence. So there were more emails floating around, more classified intelligence floating around. Just floating around everywhere. during President Obama's administration. Um, outside of the United States government than inside. That's hyperbole, but you know what I mean. And look, look, one thing I love about William Barr is that the Democrats can't stand him. The Democrats cannot stand William Barr. Oh my goodness, they can't stand him. You think they cared about Sessions? They didn't care about Sessions. They didn't care about Sessions. If you put hashtag William Barr, let's see what they can't stand him. Oh, they're like, they're calling him a traitor. That's so hilarious. Anyone who doesn't, they're calling him a puppet. Oh, I love this. I love this. They're so great. Who cares? He doesn't care. He doesn't care. Nobody cares. They do not care. They don't care at all. And now they're writing poetry about him. They're really going off now. They're really going They're really going off. This is so funny. They don't know what to do with themselves. This is so great. This is so great. And they still don't understand like this is a basic, just simple logical fact. The Mueller report the Mueller team chose not to indict Trump on obstruction. They could have recommended indictments for obstruction. They didn't. Or they could have simply indicted President Trump like they did everyone else. They didn't have evidence because there was no crime. All they said was he did a lot of things that we didn't like. And that's it. I knew that. And that's why I said that they would. And they're making fun of William Barr. That's all they're doing all day today. They're accusing him. Oh my God, they're accusing him. Papa D! How many lies must the MSN tell before they admit they are lies? The MSN will not. The only thing they kind of admit was there's no collusion. Now thank you, Papa D. They're not going to admit anything because it's very lucrative for them to continue the Democratic Party / Hollywood / liberal vantage point. The answer, my friend, is the answer is blowing in the wind. Papa D. Thank you, Papa D. Thank you. But Twitter is like, they can't stand him. They can't stand him. Oh, they're insulting. They're insulting him. They're different pictures of William Barr with a Trump 2020 hat. It's just hilarious. Rasmussen, most say it's likely President Obama's top aides were aware of Trump surveillance, which is hilarious. Well, of course. The best part of all of this is that finally there's an attorney general. Finally, there's an attorney general that doesn't care. Nobody cares what Democrats think. They didn't indict Trump. They had nothing. And now it's like they're just going to complain. They're going to try to. They're probably going to try to impeach Trump eventually on obstruction. But it's just kind of hilarious because they're going to William Barr, the Senate Judiciary. People like Lindsey Graham, Chuck Grassley are leading investigations not only into the Clinton email probe, but also into Comey, Strzok, McCabe, and everyone. The criminal referrals have already been given. They've already have the criminal referrals on Strzok and Comey and all of them. William Barr has almost certainly met with the GOP congressman regarding these criminal referrals. So the investigators are going to be investigated. They didn't get what they wanted, and now they're having their usual temper tantrum. And it's hilarious. They got no collusion. And then they're like, well, but you at least give us obstruction. Like they think they're owed it. Democrats are hilarious. They're like, well, you mean to tell me that we went ahead and framed Trump illegally? Well, at least give us obstruction of justice, something. I mean, come on, you have to give us something. We only lost the election. We fabricated and set up and framed Trump and everyone around him, so we deserve something. Don't we get anything? I mean, look how upset we are. It's like, no, you actually don't get anything, and the people around you are going to get indicted. And, oh, by the way, Clinton will eventually, because she committed actual crimes, get indicted. So it's just like I don't have a Twitter account, which is hilarious. But they're so funny. Like on Twitter, it's just this nonstop madness. Like, he didn't give us what we wanted. I knew it. We can't trust him. It's like, no, really, it's, and it's hilarious too. It's kind of like it's kind of like their support mechanism, because they keep losing. They continue to lose on all of this because they utilize a dossier purchased by Clinton, CrowdStrike outsourced by Clinton, Alexander Downer conversation linked to the Clinton Foundation. Oh, let's see what Bette Midler has to say. Oh, that's hilarious. This is an April 6th tweet. And they also don't realize that the more they continue down this path that's now completely discredited, they don't realize, they just don't get. They don't get how the country is turning away from them. They don't get that. They're completely clueless. They're completely and utterly clueless. They don't see, they don't get it. Let's look at let's see. All right, let's see. So now it's obstruction of justice. That's what is fashionable now. Even though there's zero obstruction of justice. Zero. Mueller had everything. This is CNN. Now they're turning on Mueller. Actually, this CNN article proves my point exactly. I'm going to wrap up this segment with the CNN. Mueller had everything he needed to charge Trump with obstruction, but didn't. There you go. That's exactly my point. But except he didn't have everything. That's exactly my point. Exactly my point. They kind of see it, but they're still like holding on to some kind of belief that this is all a cover-up. So they've made everything morally. So in their minds, they're like, well, in their minds, they're like, well, Clinton the Republicans believe Clinton emails were covered up, and we believe this is covered. So everything's all morally relative. So now Clinton 2020, she can just run. Everything's fine. It's all the same. See, it's all the same. She's running again. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much. It has been an hour that's awesome. Papa D, thank you. Samuel Stafford, thank you very, very, very much. As always, Samuel, thank you. Everyone, thank you. Exactly. Thank you so very much. Everyone, check out my Federalist article. It'll be below in the pinned comment. Eric H526, thank you. Info Warrior 4, thank you. Thanks everyone to my super chat. Thank you so much. Big day for everyone today. Samuel Stafford, thank you again. Big day for everyone, ladies and gentlemen. Good night, Larry. Thank you. Good night, Bud. Parabiology, thank you. Jack, thank you. All right, everyone. Thanks so much. See you very soon. Be here tomorrow for sure. Thank you.